All right, all right, all right. This is take number 3 of this, so hopefully this works. It wasn't because I messed the other things up or I flubbed my words. It was that the script let me down. So hopefully we have the right background, the correct background, and you can actually see the thing that I made. Welcome. I made my third app and my third web app, personal web app, and I wanted to talk about it. So it is February 1st. I think I'll probably drop this episode on maybe like, I don't know, February 3rd or 4th. But we're almost officially caught up. Clearly, I'm on the YouTubes. These were only on my website, and then I got over myself and said, I'm gonna put them on YouTube. But I batch uploaded them, but I scheduled them out and messed up in like the 3rd and 4th. They went out at the same time on the same day, which seemingly YouTube did not like. But it is what it is. What's done is done. But it's fun to be over here and doing this. I got 9 subscribers. You can't tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing. It's a cool experience. I actually have a pretty decent and significant following over on Instagram. And as the movement channel, the movement maestro, different channel for different life. But I've been on there since like 2014. And so it's cool to be over here and trying this. I also have another channel that I do for like all my other podcasts, Maestro on the Mic. But this is a completely different niche, however you want to say it. And already had nice supportive comments from Naris UG. If that's you, thank you. That like it really does make a difference. And Adrian, I see you watching. Like it makes a difference. And it was really cool. And I was like, cool. Like let's keep doing this. This is as much for like I said, the reason I started this, it's for me so that I can go back and watch. And I actually do watch it while I'm lifting. And I'm like, wow, that was 2 months ago. And this is, I guess it was a month ago. And this is really cool to see. And so we're on the 3rd app, and I figured I'd actually show it to you. One of the reasons I didn't show the other apps is because I was not using Descript to record. I was using just my normal setup, and I don't like recording just to the internet because it can fuck up like it did 3 times or 2 times already. This is the 3rd time. But I was like, whatever, we're going to use Descript. It's easier. It's faster, rather. I'll say it's easier, but it's faster. And it allows me to share my screen easily. So figured I'd show you what I built this time, which is called an OG card generator, or I'm calling it OG card generator. OG card, or G stands for open graph. I try to like have ChatGPT explain to me like what that it means exactly. And I was like, this is above my pay grade. Like I'm vibe coding here. This is a lot, but seemingly has to do with open being, everyone has access to it. And then graph referring to like the relationships between computers and represented as nodes. I was like, this is a lot. This was a lot. It's late. I don't really feel like trying to figure that out. But that's why that name is that. But all that it is going to do is generate the little cards that you see, the social cards, or the cards that you can share on the socials. My friend Kay, I've spoken about him before. He is on Substack. I'm not a big Substack person, but he's on Substack. And when he shares his blog, I'm just like, that's really cool. Like, it's just mainly because it has a picture, right? People like visuals. Social media is a visual platform. If I could introduce visuals, I think that'd be helpful. So I'm on 2 podcasts, but the other podcast that I wanted to make this for, although I could use it for both. No, I could only use it for this particular website. But the website that I run, the podcast that I run, ChatGPT Curious, I also take that episode and I turn it into a blog post. And so I'd love to be able to promote the blog a little bit more. I know people like to read. People listening to podcasts, it is like you like them or you don't. I didn't used to like them. I like them now. I really, really like YouTube. That's like my favorite. And so I'd rather watch someone's podcast, and I feel old for saying that. But I'm proud of my age, 41 years on this earth. But, it's definitely something I never have in the past. I was just like, no, what do you mean you watch it on YouTube? But now I fucking love YouTube. I love it. For the past few years, I pay for YouTube. I love it. But I want to be able to share the blog and have the featured image on there because I take the time to make a featured image. I went through maybe 20 or so blog posts and made them. And then I was like, you know what? I should use AI to make a featured image. Like the podcast is about AI. Right? It's called ChatGPT Curious. It is just the things I learned about ChatGPT and looking to share them with whoever really wants to learn, whoever's curious about it. But I was like, I could use ChatGPT to create an image, and I'd like to share that. Like, I think it's really cool. I really like the way that the page looks. Like, I want to share this. So Kay did that. He did that post, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk to chat first and see how long this would take, how difficult this would be. I imagine not that difficult. And yes, you could totally use Canva. right? You could 100% use Canva, make a template. All you have to do is change out the name of the episode, and you could make a frame on the bottom half where you just drag the image in, the featured image in. But like, I know that that's annoying. I run 2 podcasts, and one of the social graphics for the podcast that I share in the stories, I have my YouTube guy make for me, because it's just, all I have to do is change the fucking title, and it's annoying to me. I do it for my other podcast, and I still find it annoying, but I'm just like, I do it to do it. But something like this, where I'm like, this is easier. I just have to paste, like it says right here, paste the blog post URL. Super simple. And then I hit generate. So I'm going to show you right now, and then I'll show you kind of behind how I built it. And that'll be today's video. So I got my other screen over here. I got URL for a blog post. I like that image, so we're going to go with that one. Ooh, got a little whistle there. It's one of the cool things is like, this is for me, but if I was making it for someone else or making it front facing, I would probably, have it put like a loading or something there, so people know like it's not just frozen or anything like that. You show that the app is doing things, but because it's just for me, it's totally fine. So I drop in the URL, and there we go. We have the card is made. I know it looks gigantic. It's not that big. I could make the preview smaller as well. It doesn't have to be this big, but I'm happy with where it does what I want. I know that if I hit download, or if I just copy and paste it, it will be the appropriate size when I go to share it on social media. And I'm really happy about that. Like, just look at that. That's cool. I don't know about you, but I'm like, I'd want to read that. Like, oh, interesting. So this is static. That's always the same. Obviously, this is dynamic. That's going to change. This is going to change each time. This will change each time. It's going to get pulled from the whatever the featured image is for that post. So you can go to another one, another blog. Let me go back to the blog, and let's pull another fun one. I like that one. So we'll go and drop this in. And let it do its thing and generate. And there we go. We got another one. So nothing crazy up there. I could put more. I could put like the podcast logo, but like I didn't want to confuse people, because it already is confusing because it's episode 25. So I just really wanted them to see like it is a blog. I can put on that Instagram story like new blog post or new, read this now. And it's just, to me, I wanted to be able to share the image. That was the main thing. I wanted to be able to share this little thing right there. So I'm going to switch screens here. I think I got to pause this. I'm going to switch screens and then just show you inside of Cursor real quick, and then we'll be done. Okay, so I continue to really like Cursor. I know that Claude Code is taking over the whole entire world, and there's ClawdBot now and Moltbot and like all this shit. I really like Cursor. I'm familiar with it. I like using ChatGPT. I don't just type it into this area and just be like, make me this thing. I ask Chat. I use Next.js. I deploy on Vercel, and I know what I'm doing, and I like it. I think I said in a past vlog episode that there's a course. Next.js has a course. They have a React course and a Next.js. I'm working my way through the Next course. It starts with the React course, and it's been super helpful. I am by no means like a web developer now or like super proficient in this, but like you start to understand things, and it made it easier to find things. And it also makes it easier. I like to go back and forth with Chat, especially if something doesn't work, right? You can always take a screenshot. It throws an error. You can take a screenshot of that and put it over inside of, ChatGPT and be like, it said this, like, what do I do? But I will also ask it, is all of this necessary, right? Because now it's spitting out, okay, let's do this, this, and this to fix this. And I'm like, I have some familiarity now and understanding. I'm like, I don't think I need to do all that. I can just change one thing. Or if I want to change the color or change like just, stylistic things, I can do that. I don't even need to ask Chat, or it can just check myself with Chat, which is awesome to me, right? So the whole thing, I do go back and forth. Like, yes, I could do this. This feels so small, right? Like, yes, I could do it in here and have the things, but I'm just so comfortable with ChatGPT. So I asked Chat originally, like, how long would this take to make this? I want to do this thing. And he was like, it was like, the math was like, 60 to 90 minutes, and you can use Next.js. It knows the things that I've been doing. And so I was like, all right, let's do this. So very simple setup here. One of the coolest things is like understanding now that initial command line prompt that's just npx create dash next dash app at latest. And this is what happened when I built my first app, but it did it for me because I was just using cursor and I was like, I want to build this, do this, XYZ. And it just did those things. Like I want to use next. So it ran these things, it installed the dependencies, it did all those things. But now to understand what's happening is really cool and to be able to prompt it. I feel very comfortable using terminal. So, I made a folder. I run everything off of an SSD, made a folder. This is what the files are looking like. Basically the whole thing is actually in app route. Like this is the whole, just everything that is, and there's the whole thing. The only issue that I had this time was that it was going to, like, the main homepage, if you will, was this guy here, right? App page, that TSX file. So I had to reroute that or redirect that, because when Vercel spits out the URL for you, I was like, it is going to not the correct thing. It's live, it's working, but then I have to add the slug on, which was annoying. So I had to go through the redirect and kind of figuring stuff out with that. But like it got built and was functional very, very quickly, which is really cool to just know. I had like a rough idea going in. I was like, oh, this shouldn't take me that long. And again, like I am vibe coding it. I am asking ChatGPT, I'm saying, hey, I want to do this thing. I want to do it with Next. Can you walk me through with Next.js? I'm going to deploy on Vercel. Can you walk me through this of like the steps needed? So I don't know code. I don't know how to code these things, but I understand a whole lot more each time. Right? I'm always looking for use cases as well. But the Next.js course, and it's free. Go to the website. It is free. Was incredibly helpful. I'm still working my way through it as well. And one of the errors that it threw, right, was understanding the difference between this .tx versus .tsx, and having the ability for it to read TypeScript versus or not, and like what kind of code is in there in the actual file. I was like, oh, okay, I understand why it's throwing that error. I literally just had to rename the file, which ChatGPT told me to do, but I was like, I understand this. Like I'm working on like really understanding it, but I'm like, this is not so, I'm not just fix this for me. I have no idea what's going on. So that's very, very cool to me. Hardest thing this time, and continues to be like the most, by hard, I'm going to say the hardest, is deploying it. Not even deploying it, excuse me. Pushing it to Git and committing it. It gets better each time. But the initial commit and it's really cool, like understanding the git ignore files, and when you use that initial command to generate use this framework to make your app, it creates that git ignore file. But I was like, cool, because like going through this the first time, it was just like, it was so much, and now this is the third time. I'm like, I understand what is happening. I understand what's needed and where things are supposed to be. I really like working with Next.js. It just makes sense because the way the things are nested, like, and then the paths that are created from that, like everything. I love it, and so it was really cool to feel familiar with it. Yes, there was a little bit with Git, and then actually I took this time to what I want to say, do SSH authorization. So like no more dealing with tokens. And that was a little bit of a back and forth with that. Cause I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing this and everything's going through the command line. And then I was like, wait, this is like saying this is a key for DigitalOcean. And that's what I use for my WordPress websites. And I'm like, why is that? I would like to generate something else. And trying to understand what is going on and what's being generated. Because also, like, one of the commands that you put into the command line, it's like to copy the key. But I was like, it's supposed to like show up on there. And then I'm like, oh, it's just like kind of like hitting copy on something. But you don't see it ever. So I was like, but where is it? Are the files in the computer? They were. So just navigating that, but like I still understand what's going on and pushing to get creating the repository, going through Vercel, so easy with that, and then I had to do a few like forced can't remember, redeploys because something wasn't working. I don't remember what wasn't working, but super, like it didn't feel as fragile. I know I've said in a previous video, like how fragile it felt of just like, is the thing gonna break? Like, oh my God, it doesn't feel like that. And this is only the third one. So I am extremely excited about it. I will say for anyone who's like learning with me, taking notes is really helpful. I take a lot of notes as I was going through the courses, and anytime I have a question about something or like a shortcut and just like, what does this mean? And this way I can go back to it. That's all in my Apple Notes, but it is nice to be able to go back to that. And in this case, it was because you forget that there's just so many, everything's a fucking acronym. So many acronyms. There's so many acronyms. So being able to go back and this time, what was it? It was, I can't even remember. I'm like looking at the thing here and I was like, having to do with running, Node, right? Because like it's like npm, run dev. And I was like, what again? Like, remind me about Node. Like, what is this? And then remembering, because I had in the notes that this was created so that JavaScript could be run on servers. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's as deep as I go with things. I can't, like, some of it's still mushy in my brain. But all that to say, having notes, super, super helpful. So if that's you and you're here on your vibe coding journey with me, take notes, and then you can go back and look at them, and it's incredibly helpful. So that's what I'm up to. I continue to look for use cases. I really just like making things for myself or people that I care about, because we know like most of the things is like, this is what I see in the social media space or see in threads people talking about. It's just like there's so many apps already, and like the thing you want is probably exists, but maybe it doesn't exist exactly how you want it. And to me, that is reason enough to change it and to make your own, right? Whether or not, your brain always goes to the monetary side. And because I see it in threads as well. People they love to build, but I'm like, you don't have an audience. Who are you selling this thing to? And whether or not there will ever be an audience for some of these things, or, a viable audience for some of these things is debatable. But I very much enjoy doing this and learning this and creating these things that are very bespoke solutions that do exactly what I want and take a little friction away from things. I think that's awesome. So if that's what you're doing, awesome. I love that for us. I have some notes here about ClawdBot, Moltbot, the future. I don't know. It's getting to be a bit much. I am an early adopter, but I am a cautious person. And I'm very much like, I don't love to do things just because everybody's doing them. I know there's a lot of fervor right now around Cloud Code, around ClawdBot, around Moltbot. I actually just the next episode I'm doing for my podcast is about how to switch LLMs, because you just get, you get lock-in, and there feels like a fragility to me of just like, oh, suppose this gets canceled, then like, or whatever happens to this, like, how are you going to move to this other thing? How easy is it? And so I was working on that, and I was using Claude, and I was just like, I just don't like it as much. And I know it's like, you guys got to do this, and then it says this. And like when people are in, they like the thing, I get it. I like this thing. I like using Cursor. I like using ChatGPT. I went with the black background. Look at me. I'm one of the earliest episodes I talked about using the white background, but I went with black background. I don't even know when I changed it. Mainly because it's easier. I'm a person who has a million tabs open, and it's not, this screen like stands out. But I know what I like. I know how I like doing this. I like feeling like I have some understanding. Like, could I do this without AI? No, I could not. And I'm fully aware of that. And I'm still not okay with that. But, especially if you're like trying to hinge your career on that. But I definitely am okay with it in terms of just the fun that I'm having of creating these solutions, these bespoke solutions for me, for people I care about. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the next one's going to be. I don't know. I have no idea what it will be. This was a super easy one. There was no auth that was needed, no login or anything like that. So like, this is fun. I'm like, I can make these all day, but we will see whoever asks for the thing. If you're watching, would love to chat, leave a comment. It's way more fun. I do this on my podcast. I say this on social media, on Instagram. It's way more fun. It's bi-directional experience. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back with the next episode when I'm back with the next episode.